Welcome to Joy News today on the second day of September 2024. My name is Sweetie Abochi. In our headlines, Tamale High Court orders for a rerun of the Walewale New Patriotic Party primary. Chaos at Surgery Department of Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital as minority spokesperson on health storms the facility to demand an immediate resumption of elective surgeries at the hospital. Water Resources expect backs calls by the Ghana Water Company recommending that Ghana's rivers and water bodies must be made a national security zone in order to protect them from illegal mining and other abuses.
We just have to rise up as a nation and to call on these regulators that have been put in place to ensure that they are doing their work.
These plus business news, sports news and showbiz in this package. We are live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. You want to stay with me for details. Thank you. In our very first story, the Tamale High Courts in the Northern Region, presided over by Justice Richard Kojiapua, has ordered for a rerun of the Walewale New Patriotic Party primary. This ruling comes barely a week for parliamentary and presidential aspirants to file their nominations for the December 7th election in line with the Electoral Commission's timelines. Northern Region's Martina Bugri has been speaking to lawyers for both candidates. First, here's Samson Ladianyenene, who's lawyer for Kabiru Mahama.
With some of these people who went to vote more than 12 times, over a dozen times of call exchanges between them. When we asked those people to come to court and to testify, they were threatened. But two of them were bold and came forward and testified. The people whose names were repeated, two of them, they gave witness statements, but only one was bold enough to defy the threat and come to court. He testified that he voted once, there was indelible ink on his hand, and his chairman, who was wrongly omitted, and where his name was repeated, his chairman voted for that place. But the court has decided otherwise. As we speak, we don't know the reasons for the decision. The court says it will give its reasons on the 12th of September. We will wait, read the reasons, and find if they are sound. But as far as the record goes, they cannot be sound. Our view is that the judgment does not correspond with the evidence that was led, the documentary, and the telephone conversations that were attached and proven.
We can now hear from Sylvester Isang, who is lawyer for Lariba Zuera Abudu.
That is sad that Walewale constituency has to take us this far, okay? Because that is the home constituency of the presidential candidate of the NPP, okay? But it's better late than never. So we believe that the party at the moment can even disregard what has happened in court. The party has the constitutional mandate to reopen nominations and even disregard the two candidates and invite other people who are willing to come forward, and then we get a candidate for the Walewale constituency. Okay? But it's a learning process. I want to believe that if I have the power, I'll tell the MPP that next time you are having elections, you handpick someone from your presidential candidate's constituency. You don't allow contest there. When we say democracy, democracy is not necessarily filing in a queue to vote, okay? So all these things would have been avoided if we have foresaw that some of these things were coming to happen, okay? So I would say that no one can particularly celebrate because it's even sad that we have gotten this far.
Martina Bugri monitored the proceedings in court and joins us for a conversation. Martina, thank you for joining us. Now, what's the latest on the call for a rerun of the NPP primary in the Walewale constituency?
To tell exactly what decision the party will take, I tried to contact the executives in the region, but that has not been successful. But what we are gathering is that the party would officially, later in the day, communicate on what they would do after this court declaration. But in court today, there was a summary of what the judge says is his verdict, and then he says that the elections were actually marred with irregularities, and so there should be a rerun for the Walewale MPP primaries in that constituency. We spoke to some of the lawyers. First, we can listen to the lawyer for the first defendant.
Martina, we actually listened to them already, but how are the people receiving this, information coming to light now?
Right after proceedings, we had some exchanges between the supporters. There were some throwing of arms, actually, between supporters. And so we are foreseeing that they may have to beef up security in the area. They may have to talk to people to calm down tension, because tension is actually rising. Right from the court, we saw that, and it looks like it's not going to be a normal day in the constituency unless they put interventions to forestall any confusion.
Martina Bugri, thank you so much for bringing us those details and updates from Walewale. Now, flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, begins his 4-day tour of the Bono East region today. The tour will start from Kintampo North constituency and will take Mr. Mahama through all 11 constituencies of the region, as he's expected to share his vision, proposals, policies and programs as outlined in the NDC 2024 Resetting Ghana Manifesto. And Asah-Asante has been speaking to some residents ahead of the visit. Anas Sabit joins us live with updates. Anas, has Mr. Mahama arrived yet? My colleague joining us with these updates from the Bono region. Anas, has Mr. Mahama arrived yet?
We are live from the Babatokuma, community market here in the Kintampo North constituency of the Bono East region. This is one of the, most loyal constituencies here in the Bono East region, so far as the NDC is concerned. From the 1992 constitution to date, the NPP has never won in any of the contests here, both presidential and parliamentary. It's always been the NDC from 92, both parliamentary and presidential. Today, this is where the former President John Dramani Mahama is set to kickstart his campaign, 4 days campaign of the Bono East region, and he's set to tour almost all the constituencies of the region. We have 11 constituencies here, and this is the very first of the constituencies he is visiting. And of course, I'm not surprised at all because of the loyalty of the people of Kintampo North to the National Democratic Congress. So the expectations of the people are high. They are expecting nothing but to hear, words of, relief from the former president, because we know that the people over here, most of whom we have been speaking with, are saying that they can't wait for December 7 to vote for the NDC and its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. We are set to speak with some people here to have their take on what their expectations are as the NDC's former president or the NDC's candidate, who is the former president Mahama, is set to kickstart his campaign. Let's speak with some of the people here. Baba, my name is Kazakra, and then John Mahama Bakruimu share campaign tour of the region. Then I'll share neighbor Obahano.
Okay, yo, that's it. I mean, Shiramu, Yakupoma Indian Kunim, until the Ivy Pompire, no. Yakupoma Indian Kunim, Mamponi Bian Swamba, Yabre.
That's a Mama Bra, Quamens no Mabre.
What's it?
What's the Mabre, Quamens no Bezo?
Yabre, we are soon, and I can know, Quandam Grand Mento, Quandam Grand Drop, if I cry no more boy as I give you food. Until Yabre, until Yakupom boy, Yakupom boy, pa.
When I just said your mama about when I just said your mama about
oh, and then in fact, Yanaji.
I didn't tell when you had
Oh, yeah, near you say you who not yet, Yafino.
Oh, but then I'll rest on better feeling chain.
Oh, yeah, the better feeling chain and Stampane Pese or bar, or can we assimilate?
Another one is here. JM Baha, my expectations. Mudian will rest on better former president.
No, yeah. Hey, there,
he doesn't understand the tree language, but we have another man here. JM is coming to Kintampo of Baba Tokuma. This is where he's starting. Your expectations?
Yo, yeah, so John Ebano, Yabre, until you saw Baba Gia, a free sa and Quasum Wemu. John Mraso Nebia, Ebo form by Oman Penue, our Tiakunja Isuno. Wa my home cherry pa home dare emra oba no say ye tiskaso nso akwamde enso oba no ya nwusa sika no e wo ho by ye esra John ne say wasa na eba no Kintampo of Babato especially Babato ye hia say ombeche district no mu ayaden amaye no amaye secondary school Babato ye population so pa banso ye ni secondary school ho nti na ehwe e wo no ho no me da wase.
Finally, this will be our for the area.
And as Sabits there ahead of the arrival of former President John Dramani Mahama in the Bono East region for his 4-day tour. Now, moving on, political scientist Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante is questioning leader of the new force, Nana Kwame Bediako's topmost priority, which is to govern with just 12 ministers if given the nod in December. Nana Kwame Bediako on Sunday unveiled his economic plan, dubbed the 12 Pillars for Economic Freedom, where he said a lean government coupled with great industrialization will address key economic challenges facing the nation.
Apostolic governance, the 12 ministries. I mean, apostolic governance, it's a title, it's some title right here, but it's the 12 ministries. They say less is more. Our government will be the leanest, most efficient in the history of African politics. We present to you the apostolic governance, 1 president, 12 ministers. Create a lean government that will be responsible for the 12 pillars.
Speaking earlier on Joy News Desk, Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante said more interrogation has to be done, especially regarding how Mr. Bediako will find some of his policies.
If you look at the quote, by the language of the Constitution, and I'm talking about Article 76, 76, 1.
Okay.
It says that there shall be a cabinet which shall consist of president and vice president, not less than 10 and not more than 19 minutes. So 12 is within the range as specified by the Constitution. But the catch is that when you look at this and just oppose it on regional ministers, which is also a requirement, is he going to have different regional ministers? If he's going to create different ministers, which he has to, then obviously the number is going to go up. You have 12, but you are going to get 16 ministers. His idea is to reduce representatives of the president in terms of ministers and regional ministers, then obviously there are certain questions that you need to answer.
In other stories, there were chaotic scenes at the surgery department of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital when minority spokesperson on health stormed the facility to demand an immediate resumption of elective surgeries. The hospital had earlier suspended all elective surgeries due to faulty elevators. Kwabena Menta Akando, who went to the facility with some journalists, were met on arrival by a staff who refused to allow the MP grant interviews within the premises of the surgeries department, leading to an altercation.
The information we have gathered is that some of the lifts have been down for the past 4 to 5 good years. For me, it is rather unconscionable for a whole hospital, a teaching hospital such as Korle-Bu, to derelict its duty for just maintaining a lift to facilitate movement of patients to get the quality of healthcare they need. I mean, why? What happens to routine maintenance in this country? What happens to routine maintenance in this country? So you wait till all your lifts are down, and then you say that people must not come for the healthcare they need. It's rather unfortunate, and therefore I am calling on the government, the minister responsible for health, within the next 24 hours. They cannot suspend surgery indefinitely. Within the next 24 hours, we must see the end of this unconscionable behavior. We cannot accept that reason. And so within the next 24 hours, they must tell us when they are fixing the lift at Korle-Bu. It is not a rocket science.
Now, a water resources expert is backing calls by the Ghana Water Company, recommending that Ghana's rivers and water bodies be made national security zones in order to protect them from illegal mining and other abuses. The country's rivers and water bodies are rapidly disappearing due to galamsey, and this devastating practice has escalated to the point where the country's future access to clean water is in jeopardy, with fears mounting that Ghana could soon be forced to import water. Reverend Engineer Samson Tete says if illegal mining is not stopped, there will be dire consequences for water production rather. Now let's hear from him. You'll hear from him shortly, but first, let's watch excerpts of our Hotline documentary, Poison Rivers, as producer of the documentary, Richard Kojonyako, speaks with the Managing Director of the Ghana Water Company, Clifford Brimer.
Despite the odds, the Ghana Water Company perseveres. The treated water, painstakingly processed from the sludge, is finally pumped into the homes of hopeful residents. But the struggle is evident in every drop. The water, although clear to the eye, carries the heavy weight of a journey fraught with threats of contaminants.
I think that, like other countries do, water bodies are national security issues. They are national security zones. If Water Resources Commission do working in it, they are civilians, but it's under the Ministry of Defense. And let's test the resilience of our military and see whether that problem will not be resolved. As at now, yes, once in a while we bring them in to go on, but that's a flash, it goes off. But if you make it their responsibility and they cannot stop our water bodies to be polluted, how can they guarantee citizens that when there is an invasion of foreign forces, they will be able to stop them? And I believe strongly that if it becomes a national security issue, and Water Resources Commission, though it's a civilian department, but under the jurisdiction and supervision of the military or national security, I'm sure this still will give me 100 days. I'm sure it will be, because they will be marked by the quality of water. And I know the men. I know what they can do if given that responsibility. So I think that we've gotten to a stage where we need to be brute about it. We need to be truthful about it. We need to confront it head on. if you leave it in the hands of politicians, look, Mr. A will be saying when you are come, I'll bring them back. Mr. B will say when I come, I will make sure they don't do it, and it becomes a game.
But it's the politicians that control these.
So that's what I'm saying. That so move it off their jurisdiction under the jurisdiction of CDS and see whether there will not be a change. For me, if given the opportunity, that's what I will.
We can now hear from Water Resources expert, Reverend Engineer Samson Tete, who's in speaking on News Desk.
We just have to rise up as a nation and to call on these regulators that have been put in place to ensure that they are doing their work, and then the government of the day, because you see, this is not a political issue. We all drink potable water. So whether you are NPP or NDC, whatever party you belong to, everybody needs the water. So it's a collective effort that we need to rise up and say that, no, you cannot go and make your money and then destroy the resource that we all have to depend on. As you know, water is life. And so once our water bodies are endangered, the way it is going, very soon we'll run out of water.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Water Company in Ashanti region is warning that residents in Obuasi and adjoining communities will face water shortage as illegal mining activities continue to ravage water bodies in the area. The Odaso treatment plant, the main source of water to the mining communities, is now heavily polluted beyond its permissible limits, with about 60% of the water treated from the plant going to waste. The Ghana Water Company Limited is contemplating a shutdown of the plant over increasing operational costs. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku has more in this report.
Illegal mining activities along river bodies continue unabated in the Ashanti region, damaging water sources intended for domestic and agricultural use. The Odaso treatment plant serves residents in Obuasi and its surrounding communities, but the plant faces an imminent shutdown. The Oda River running through the plant is now polluted beyond its initial turbidity and coloration levels. Dr. Hansen Akute is the Chief Manager, Ashanti Production Region of the Ghana Water Limited.
The Odaso treatment plant was designed to produce about 4 million capacity plants. So 4 million capacity plants. For every treatment plant, you must run what we call 24/7 processes. In other words, 24 hours continuously and 7 days within the week. Odaso alone, we are not able to run the 24/7 days continuously because of the galamsey. So we do what we call the batch system. Out of the 1.5 million gallons a day, which is about 664 meter cube a day, we are able to treat just about 3776 meter cube a day. So technically, the volume has reduced such that we cannot even meet the demand of the people of Obuasi. Where it's possible, we may shut down, and the best option is to transfer water from Kumasi to Obuasi.
A similar situation is encountered by the water treatment plant in Konongo, as illegal mining activities threaten the only source of water in the area.
Currently, we are just abstracting about 1 million gallons a day for Konongo. And of the 1 million gallons a day, what it means is that we are just able to produce about 780,000 gallons a day. Invariably, we are just using about 22% of the design capacity of the plant, of which we must be the demand of the people in Konongo. Invariably, because also there's an infestation of galamsey activity all over the enclave of the river Enum in the Konongo, which we abstract for treatment. And the turbidity of Konongo has also risen so high.
The cost of treating the polluted water is impacting heavily on the operational costs of the water company, threatening sustainable production.
In the past, we were using just about 0.1 pesos Ghana said to treat 1 meter cube. But currently we are using about 6 cedis, 74 pesos to treat 1 meter cube of water, almost about 98% increase in costs. We were able to import a more generic spectrum coagulant, which we call the polymer. This coagulant is very expensive because of the broad or the wide nature of its effectiveness. And it's almost the last resort of which you use in treating your system because the cost.
Emmanuel Bright-Kweku joins us with more details on this. Emmanuel, how are residents responding to this warning?
Particularly in the Obuasi area, it's quite a worrying situation for most of the residents here in the Obuasi enclave. And they tell me that the situation, if not curtailed, can actually result in them of some of these houses losing water to their area. And as rightly the man mentioned, if this water source, that's your Daso river, is not treated well or even shut down, they are actually going to face a lot of implications on their production, because it's really gone bad that when they run water through that particular system, they have to do about just 40% of it. 60% of this particular water goes waste, and only 40%, and they are unable to meet the demands of the people in Obuasi. So they are hoping that, the residents are hoping that something can be done urgently to resolve this particular situation, Suti.
Emmanuel, thank you for bringing us those details. In other stories, the Electricity Company of Ghana has begun an aggressive exercise to replace all faulty meters in parts of Accra. The exercise, which kickstarts today from the Accra East District, targets some 250,000 faulty meters spread across Legon, Adenta, Kwabenya and its environs. James Aveji is with the team and joins us with details. James, what's the latest on this exercise?
Well, Sweetie, so the ECG said they have been getting reports from customers about the non-functioning of meters. Others also say that their meters read into negative when they buy credit cards, especially the prepaid ones. Just when they load the cards, the meters run into negative and all of that. The ECG today says that upon the receipt of all of those complaints, they are undertaking a 2-month exercise to change all of these meters. And we are starting from the Accra East region, which ran through goes to Legon, Adenta, Madina, Kwabenya, and its environ. Now, when the regional director of the ECG in the Accra East region, Engineer Bismarck Otu, spoke to us, he indicated that they have gone into contractual agreement with some 10 sub-contractors already in all of the district, who they are expecting to change at least 37 meters daily in the district they will be operating on, so that by the end of October this year, all of the meters they have earmarked, especially the prepaid ones, would have been changed in the Accra East region. Now, they also indicated that this would go a long way to improve revenue generation for the ECG as well. The managing director, Samuel Dubik Mahama, has also been speaking to us, and he has indicated that has been warning customers not to tamper with any of these meters. We've been hearing incidents of people trying to recalibrate the meters to run slower than they do. They said these are very smart meters, and so any attempt to do that could lead to a breakdown of the meter and the customer being in trouble. And so currently we are here at around the Trade Fair Center, where, if you can see behind me, some officers of the ECG are currently changing some of the meters for the customers here in line. So that's what they've been up to today. It will spread to other parts of the region as well as the entire country. Note that their focus right now is on only the prepaid meters. They say that in due course, the postpaid meters would also be targeted, and all of these challenges would be addressed with it.
James, and now let's listen to the regional manager of the Accra East, Mr. Engineer Bismarck Otu.
inform our customers, dear customers of ECG, and the entire country that we are beginning to replace all those obsolete meters in the system, and therefore we need to inform them to be aware of it. We have over 250,000 meters to be replaced in this exercise. That is the Nuri meters within Accra East. In fact, this number is within Accra East. When you go to the other regions, we have some more than this number to replace. And so within Accra East, we have over 250,000 meters that we are going to replace. These meters, as I said earlier on, have become dysfunctional. They are not working very well. And so in the interest of our customers and our own interest, we need to replace them so that there will be some more transparency in our dealings with our customers. We have these meters in Accra East scattered across the Makwala district. We have some in Roman Ridge district. We have some in Legon district. We also have some in Adenta district, Dodowa district, Kwabenya district, and a few in Teshi district. And so all these areas, we are going to cover them within the Accra East region. And more importantly, in recent times, we have had instances where the Nuri meters, loses communication with the servers. And so for a long time, a customer will be consuming without recharging appropriately. And therefore, when the communication is established, a customer is given a huge negative balance. It has become a very worrying situation to us. And so we want to replace these meters with a more modern ones that are, timely, that communicate with our system so that there will be transparency. We have also meters that have been aged, currently in use, which we want to replace. There's also issue of inaccurate billing, and then frequent power outage, because when there's lack of communication, sometimes the meter trips or goes off by itself, which will require a personnel to come and switch it on. And so if this situation happens in the night, you can imagine what the customer will be going through. And that is why we think that for efficiency on our part, we need to replace all these meters.
If anybody feels cheated, the Standards Authority are available. The meters were calibrated. We can check it and we can do a home audit with the person to justify. The old meters we had were very, very mechanical, which also led to some form of revenue loss. Currently, with the meters that we have in place, they are off by just some few basis points. So every single thing you use at home will be read. I think this brings us to the conversation of energy conservation. We need to learn how to conserve and to turn off things or gadgets that we are not using. Please, these meters are smart meters. They are MMS compliant. They are very visible on a dashboard in our offices. Please don't touch these meters because we will know. Please don't tamper with these meters because we will know. There's been a huge revenue leakage, and across the country we have to change close to 1.5 million meters as quickly as possible. The one thing that I will beg our friends in the media and I would beg our customers is that let's not politicize this exercise. Revenue generation by ECG is very, very critical to keep this sector alive. Paying IPPs is a very, very, very real situation on the ground. Every single peso counts. That is why the company is cashless. Please, please, let's not politicize this exercise. Let's not have the politician having to call to say, oh, suspend this, consider. Let's not do that at all. Let's learn to conserve energy in our homes. Let's turn off devices that are not being used.
Let's take a break and we'll return with business news.
Welcome back to Business on Joy News today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. For 2 consecutive months, the government missed its target for treasury bills as liquidity remained tight on the money market. According to auction results from the Bank of Ghana, the government target fell by 991.61 million cedis. Here is more in this report.
The target for the auction was 5.088 billion cedis, but the government got 4.094 billion cedis. Some analysts have attributed the shortfall by some banks' preparation to shore up their capital. All the bids tendered for the short-term securities were accepted. The uptake for the 91-day bill was 2.532 billion cedis, representing 61.84% of the total bids. The bids tendered for the 182-day were estimated at 1.357 billion. That of the 182-day bill was 205.23 million cedis. Meanwhile, interest rates went up across the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill increased by 10 basis points to 24.88%. Also, the interest on the 182-day bill shot up to 26.78% from the previous weeks of 26.68%.
Still on business, the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana is asking insurers to value their assets amidst the exchange rate volatilities. President of the Institute, Solomon Lati, said a proper value assessment of assets is key to protecting the interest of insurers for unforeseen circumstances. He spoke to Joy Business at the 2024 Insurance Excellence Awards.
The Insurance Excellence Awards sought to promote the growth of the insurance industry through progressive competition, innovation, and adherence to the highest professional standards. Mr. Latte urged Ghanaians to take advantage of insurance.
Good question. So the thing about insurance is if you insure in dollar, we'll pay your claims in dollar. If you insure in CD, we'll pay your claim in CD. So if you have, so it's up to you as an individual or a company to always value your assets. If you live in an economy where the currency is volatile like where we are, and even if you have a life insurance company, you should always revalue the sum insured or the assets. Look at it. Today, if I have insured my car for, let's say, 100,000 cedis, if my car is involved in an accident and they pay me that 100,000 cedis, will I be able to buy that car again? No. So you have to reassess the value of your car, make sure that if it's 160,000 or whatever, put that value there. Insurance will charge you a little more premium, but it is to your advantage that you value your assets properly, pay the right premiums, and when there's a loss, insurance will pay you the right claims.
Insurance Professional of the Year and Managing Director for Enterprise Life Assurance Company, Jacqueline Bain, entreated Ghanaians to invest in insurance.
Insurance is something everyone needs. Once you are born, you are faced with the double hazards of life. It's either you live long or you die early. These are all risks that you face, and therefore you need to have life insurance in your portfolio, your financial planning portfolio. It's very important. I just want to encourage Ghanaians. Life insurance is great. It should be part of everything you do, because this is the greatest love letter you can ever leave your family.
This year's event was under the theme Excellence in a Customer-Centric Profession.
That'll be all for business. Up next is sports. Stay tuned.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftao Nabila Avla. Ghana Black Princesses will be opening their FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup campaign later today against Canada. The Black Princesses will start their game at 5 p.m. local time, which will be 10 p.m. Canada time. Let's hear from head coach of the team, Yusuf Basiki, who says that his girls are ready.
Because this is what they are waiting for, and the time has come. And looking at the enthusiasm with the technical staff, they are also quite okay, because the players are looking up to us. So if we don't cheer up or we don't look much ready, it will go along the line to affect them. So I think we are also getting on well. And the players, I can say, they are much ready. Fortunately, we were privileged to play 2 friendly internationals, which has helped them a lot. They have gotten a feel because these teams that we played are also contenders. So they had a feel of how the euphoria will look like. And, you know, our last final game against Nigeria in Cape Coast has also given them the kind of strength in terms of state fright, because the crowd was massive, and I think that is also a plus for them. Well, they are responding very well, and I'm very much impressed with their performance, because if you look at from day one, where we had challenges with the altitude, they struggled a little bit, and after 1 week, they were okay, and then we played a game. They showed signs of readiness. We played our second game. They were full of ready to play. As for me, I'm highly motivated, and I look cool because it is not every coach that will get this opportunity. So when you get it, you utilize it very well. And I've made the girls to also understand that this might be their last, or maybe the subsequent one, they may also get opportunity to play for the senior team. But this is the time to justify why they should be included in the senior team. And then the coach is also here to assess them, which is the Black Queens coach. Nora is also here. And I would say that that is quite remarkable. There's no pressure on me. I'm motivated, actually, to take part in this, I would say, my second edition. So I'm highly motivated. After having watched their game, we'll map up our tactical ploy against them as to what to do. So for that one, yes, we have our tactical ploy that we are going to map up.
Black Stars players have started arriving for the African Cup of Nations qualifier against Angola later this week. Now let's bring in a report on Pro Ride 2024, where Nigerian John Gabriel and Tracy Kwasi won the men and women's categories. My colleague Razak Musbah was there and has details in this report.
The event, which was held at the Independence Square, drew hundreds of cycling enthusiasts to participate in the 5th edition of the annual cycling event organized by Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. The day was extra special as it was a key part of activities to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Ghana's leading insurance provider. They kicked off with an exciting 20-kilometer amateur race which featured both male and female participants. After some 40 minutes of intense cycling, Reginald Amond and Femiz Bors emerged at the top finishers in the men's and women's categories, respectively. Each winner received a prize of 3,000 Ghana cedis, along with a medal, trophy, and certificate. Following the amateur race, the professional cyclists took to the road, with the men competing in 100-kilometer race and the women covering 75 kilometers. In the men's race, John Gabriel powered through to finish ahead of the competition. His victory earned him a cash prize of 15,000 Ghana cedis, along with a medal, certificate, and a glittering trophy.
I didn't know I'd be able to attend the race. So I was training, looking on that, okay, maybe I will come, maybe I will not come. So at the end of the day, I still came. And actually, for the start of the race, when we wanted to start the race, I never knew I'm going to win the race, actually. So I was just looking at maybe within first 3. So that was, I was just trying to, push. Anyhow, maybe 1, 2, 3 will come. I just go first 3, anyhow. So to God be the glory, at least I won the race. So I think I deserve it.
The women's category also, Treasure Kwasi clinched first place, taking home 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize, along with a trophy, medal, and a certificate.
I took 3rd place last year. This year, we as a team, me and my team, we try to put in our best in training more harder to get more better position, and everything worked out perfectly.
Head of Sustainability at Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Emmanuel Hammond, expressed profound satisfaction with the turnout, emphasizing the company's ongoing commitment to promoting a healthy lifestyle through cycling.
Really impressed. I think it's gone better than we anticipated, and this year's Pro Ride has been really thrilling. We've always had people come from other countries to compete, but I think
up next is Showbiz.
Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Samaya Boa. Now, legendary gospel artist Esther Smith made a stunning comeback to the stage after a 10-year break, captivating her audience at her debut concert at Perez Chapel over the weekend. During her performance, she sang nearly 20 of her most cherished hits, including Nipa, Woye Kese, Wodi Asem, igniting a powerful atmosphere of praise and bringing fans to their feet. My colleague Nicholas Ekoyamwa has more in this report.
For 10 years, she left Ghanaians wondering why she had stepped away from the music scene to settle abroad. Many missed her songs, with some even calling for her return. Well, Esther Smith has finally heeded the call of Ghanaians and staged a massive comeback to the music industry with her Esther Smith Live in Concert. The first concert took place at the Church of Pentecost in Bantama and climaxed with the Accra edition held at the Perez Dome. Dressed in a stunning white gown that shimmered like a bridal ensemble, she captivated the audience with her soul-stirring ministration, leaving a lasting impact. Gospel music lovers were also thrilled by performances from ASP Kofi Sapong, Minister OJ, Noble Nketia, and Pastor Joe Bicham. Each of whom brought their unique energy to the event. Patrons couldn't hide the excitement.
This woman, the greatest of all time. Nobody. Your friend, the gospel Mushatawale. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Nobody.
It's been so fantastic, awesome, and spirit-filled.
It's been very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, the program is very cool. Over 10 years, she has not been in Ghana. And look how well we are doing here. Very spectacular, very nice, and it's very awesome. It's awesome.
Now, this concert is so beautiful and wonderful. I've really enjoyed the music,
Esther Smith's performance was met with overwhelming applause, and she announced that the concert will become an annual event.
I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody who came to this program. And me shabo say, oduma nyame di ama me no, me mane nka me mu. Me nyini kra na enyume gudem no, me de be chafo fro ne mafra eba.
Esther Smith also promised fans that her hiatus had come to an end and that more inspiring music was on the way. Nicholas Ekoyamwa's report for Joy News.
Well, South African beauty queen Chidinma Adesina, who was at the heart of an identity controversy, has gone from being disqualified in South Africa to being crowned Miss Universe Nigeria 2024, proving that resilience and determination can turn even the toughest challenges into triumph.
In a twist worthy of a pageant drama, Chidinma Adesina has been crowned Miss Universe Nigeria 2024, just months after facing disqualification from the South African Miss Universe edition. Her path to the crown wasn't all glitz and glamour. Chidinma's journey highlights the resilience needed to turn setbacks into triumph. After her disqualification in South Africa, which sparked conversations around xenophobia and the challenges Nigerians face abroad, Chidinma didn't let the setback dim her shine. Instead, she redirected her focus to the Nigerian pageant, which her perseverance paid off in grand style. Now, with the Miss Universe Nigeria crown securely in place, Adesina is set to represent her country on the global stage in Mexico in November.
This journey has been a tough journey for me, and I am so proud of myself, and I'm really grateful for all the love and the support. I just don't even know what to say. I think the excitement, the emotions are really everywhere right now, but I'm just like really grateful for both countries and Africa in general, because the love and support was not only coming from South Africa or Nigeria, it was coming from Ghana, literally every single way as well, and I'm so proud and I'm so happy.
Her story isn't just about beauty, it's about bouncing back, standing tall, and showing the world that setbacks are just setups for greater comebacks. As Chidinma Adesina prepares to take on the world, one thing is clear: this queen is ready to reign.
On that note, is a wrap for the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabwa. Over to you, sweetie.
Thank you for bringing us those riveting stories. But that's how we're wrapping up. And for more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Over there, you find the latest stories like the Tamale High Court orders rerun of NPP Walewale parliamentary primary, as well as other stories. And there's a man who's vandalized a monument at the Kotoka International Airport roundabout, and he's facing prosecution soon. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Many thanks for your time.